and it's been a headache.
You know, definitely been some issues along the way.
Yeah, we originally took our truck to the Freightliner on Monday and dropped it off. They told us, oh, it'll be a couple days and you'll have your truck back. They had our truck for over a week.
Well, apparently the truck needs 2 new steer tires and Freightliner can't do it, so we had to come pick the truck up. And we gotta take it to another place to get some steer tires put on. Tell them what the bill was, what all they did. And this is kind of all stuff that just recently started happening.
Yeah,
like,
the
it's not
lights,
like it's been like that.
the lights both being messed up.
So what did the bill end up being?
It was like $3,200 and some change. Ended up taking it to Thermo King. That might have been a mistake. And then they had a checklist that they had to go over.
But of course, in true trucker fashion, it would be a little weird if we didn't have our truck at a Freightliner for a whole week and then break down the next day.
Yes.
So, but I think it blew a hose or something because there's coolant everywhere. I'm going to attempt to bypass the sensor and see if I can hop it down to the Walmart right down the road here. This is sketchy as hell. I don't know.
I'm going to show you how to put it all back together now.
So come away with me, nobody has to.
And here's what Michael's look like. His looks more like a street taco.
$130 out here.
I was just calling to see if you're free to run away with me, to run away with me.
Right on the side of the interstate, about halfway to Thermo King. Started getting the lights in here. If anybody has a Freightliner, you know what that's about. The check, the stop, the engine lights, yellow and red flashing, which is going to shut you on down. That means hurry the hell up and stop. Because you're going to stop either way. It's going to shut you down.
And that happens because there's a sensor in your coolant reservoir. And if your coolant gets too low, it will literally just stop your truck, shut you down right there on the interstate, which is very dangerous in my opinion. I don't know why it's set up that way. I guess so you don't blow your motor, you know.
You know, when those lights start flashing, you got like a minute maybe.
Yeah,
maybe 60
they don't,
seconds.
it doesn't give you long.
And then all of a sudden the truck just won't be running anymore. Like the engine will go dead. You'll lose all power steering. Like when you better, so when you see them, you better get stopped.
Yeah.
One way or the other. And
Yeah.
in this case, I couldn't even really make it to the ramp. I had to pull it on the shoulder at 77 South.
Yeah, at the very busy
Mooresville.
Mooresville exit. Traffic is crazy right there anyway, on every day.
And the first thing when you see that, you're hoping, well, maybe I just need a little coolant that's triggering a sensor. That would be the hope, that all you'd have to do is put out a little coolant. And I had a jug, a full jug of coolant. But as we got out and looked at it, we could see that the engine was wet with coolant on both sides, and we lost a lot of coolant. So
Yeah, and
clearly a bigger issue.
right there where we were, we really couldn't take the time to figure out what was going on. So Michael rigged it up to where we could take it to a Walmart off the exit so we could try to look and see how come we lost the majority of our coolant.
You know, I wasn't really trying to figure out the problem at that moment. I was just trying to figure out how to get us out of where we were sitting, because when you see the clips, I mean, the trucks are zooming by and I'm standing in the motor out here, and it's
very dangerous.
Definitely, yeah, pretty sketchy. But I was able to, because this has happened plenty of times in our trucking career, sometimes better, sometimes worse than this, but I was able to take the paper clip and trip the sensor so we could move the truck. That's what we did down to the Walmart. Well, I got it bypassed. Hopefully that'll at least limp us off of this sketchy ass area right here. And hopefully there's enough coolant in the truck to at least get us out of this bad spot. Maybe I can have a better look at it.
I'm just gonna call it in and have them bring a tow truck.
I got it bypassed, so. Well, we hopped it down to this Walmart when I bypassed the sensor.
Yeah, we went in and got like 4 jugs of coolant, and we came back out and we put 2 of them in there, and then we found the problem.
And after I got some coolant to put in it, Becky was standing over here and she happened to spot where the leak was coming from, which was this clamp right here. It goes right there. It goes to the top of the radiator. The clamp was somehow broke in half, and it was spitting out of there. The hoses were fine, the clamp was just broke.
Yeah.
But we're at a Walmart and they don't have clamps, so I'm not far from a Lowe's. They had these heavy duty zip ties, so once you spotted that, I was like, that's good and bad. I mean, bad because now we got to find a clamp, but good that that's all we got to do is find the clamp. It's not going to cost the owners a tow truck or roadside, or we ended up having to buy 4 or 5 jugs of coolant and a clamp, so it wasn't that expensive of a fix.
Yeah.
Versus what it could have been. Get one of these zip ties on there to hold it for, it's really not even a mile, like half a mile.
Hey, is it okay to start the APU?
Give me like,
Well, it's 80 in here.
2 seconds and then you can start it.
Let me just exit.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Got that on there for now as just a temporary. We got Subway, so I'm gonna eat our sandwiches. And you hear the ACU, the belt. One reason why we're going to Thermo King.
Yeah, we needed to show them about that belt spooling too.
Yeah.
That's our next issue.
I'm gonna crank it while we're eating our lunch and see if any coolant comes out of that. If not, then it should be okay to drive right down the road to that Lowe's to see if they have a clamp. We'll check back in a few. All right, so we ate our lunch. Been about 15 minutes. Let's see if that's got any leaking. All right, that seems to be holding pretty good, so I'm gonna close it up and drive like right down the road to Lowe's. Alright, let's go to Lowe's.
Yeah. I mean, we were stuck at the Walmart. Basically, we got the coolant, and then he ended up using ties around, and then we drove down to Lowe's and got a clamp and put a new clamp on it.
Yeah, Walmart didn't have the clamp. That zip tie held pretty good, the big thick ones, but we didn't know if it would melt it or something, if it get too hot, so yeah. Well, we made it to Lowe's, and zip tie's still good, but did have a couple of these. So the best they had in Lowe's was these. Those ain't the best quality clamp, that's for sure, but pretty much all they had, so use this until get to a Freightliner, get the right one. I think it'll be alright. It'll be enough to get us to Thermo King and get that work done. Hopefully they still see us today. It's like 2 o'clock at this point. So hopefully they can still see us. Yeah, I think it'll be plenty good enough to get us there and back home, and then I'll run to Thermo or Freightliner tomorrow and pick up the right clamp. I left the paper clip in the sensor because I topped it off, but I knew once I started moving, coolant level would go down. I wasn't sure if it would go down too low, trigger that sensor and shut me down in all this traffic. So I'm just gonna leave that like that for now. Till later on we get home, and then I'll recheck it and fix it.
And then once we got the truck fixed, we went ahead and headed on over to the Thermo King.
Darling, we might not ever look like those families in the stock picture frames on old-time TV. There ain't no white fence around this life we have. We're two runaways on a one-way ticket track. And if I'm not the man you bargained for, and the bright red love you bought me for is gone, will you lie here under star-drowned skies and look me in the eyes when I say these are our hard times? Say you'll stay. I see the scars that you keep underneath your skin, drawn in like a map of all the places your heart's been. The man I am ain't nothing but holes in a tattered soul, threads of grace hemmed with faith. They're the the strongest.
It's about an hour, Mary.
And if
I'm gonna get out and look at that clamp and make sure it's okay.
man you bargained for, the bright red love you bought me for is
We're at the Thermo King.
will you
They said they'd probably get us in like an hour to get these PMs done. So I just wanted to take a quick look at this clamp and make sure that it's okay while we're sitting here.
These are our hard times.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good to me. How about you?
Stay.
Not leaking or anything. Looks good to me.
And if I'm not the man you bargained for, the bright red love you bought me for is gone, will you lie
Good thing about this Thermo King
under star-drowned sky
here in right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, off of Statesville Road, is they are open until 10 o'clock at night. So it's like 3:30 right now. We got here. Most of them close at like 5 or 6, but they stay open until 10. So that's good. So hopefully we can get that done and be out of here in a couple hours. It was probably what, like 3:30 in the afternoon or somewhere at that point by the time we actually got there.
Yeah. But they let us sit there until 6 o'clock before telling us, oh, by the way, we don't have any of the filters to do your oil change.
Here's the update. It is now 6 o'clock, and we've been sitting at this Thermo King since 3:30, waiting on them to pull us in to get this checklist done. So about 10 minutes ago, the guy comes out here to ask me about the checklist, and he's like, this is a carrier. We're a Thermo King. And I'm like, yeah. That's why I called the lady in the service department and told her that I had carrier units, because the carriers close at 5, you guys stay open to 10. And I told her I had carrier units on my truck, a Comfort Pro APU, a carrier TCU. And I asked her, do you work on them here? And she was like, well, we do certain things here. Like some things we may not have the parts to do. And I said, well, all I need is a PM done on both and a checklist for my reefer. Which is like a PM maintenance thing where they just go over the things they do, preventative maintenance, and just check it off to say it's good. And she's like, well, yeah, we can do the PMs. And I was like, okay, well, I'll be here. The next day, obviously, we wanted to get here earlier. As you know, we had a breakdown on the side of the road, the clamp, blah, 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 all that happened. And then now fast forward to they cannot do any PMs because they don't have the filters or anything that would require them to do the PMs. And the carrier that's around here closed at 5. It's now 6, so they can't go get the parts. So this is Tuesday. Now Wednesday, tomorrow, we're going to be driving back up here in the morning to try to get this done once again, hopefully without a hose blowing out.
And we got to go back to the Freightliner.
And then after that, like you guys know that we had the truck in the Freightliner for a week with the alignment and all that's good, except the steering wheel in here is no longer lined up properly. Like if you're going straight and the steering wheel is cocked to the right, it's off by probably 2 inches. So when they did the alignment, the truck's not pulling or anything or shaking. I mean, it's driving good, but the steering is cockeyed now. So after we get done here, we have to go back there and get that fixed, which we were planning on doing in the morning, but now we have to do this on Wednesday, so that'll now be Thursday, which puts us at the very minimum of Friday getting another load out of here. Doubt there'll be any loads to be able to get since we can't even accept any until then. I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if we could accept them now, but we can't because we're out of service. So maybe Monday before we actually get a load. But either way, let's head back home for now, and we'll see you guys later.
Like they knew why we were there and what we were trying to do.
Yeah, and that's when we realized there was a carrier down the road, because we didn't even know that beforehand. But
Yeah.
Yeah, so we basically left and
Came back
had
home.
Tearing my heart, but a weight off my chest. Set fire to the rest. I can see through the smoke, but the pain is still fresh. And I still think about the life that I lived. When you and me were at our best. But our love ran cold with the words we said. I lost you, yeah, I know too well. Thought it through, but it hurt like hell. If I see you again, I'll be someone else. I lost you, but I found myself. I'm talking to the walls. Now it's only me when the midnight calls. And I wonder where you are. Cause the lights are on, but I'm in the dark. And I think it's better off this way. I won't cover up the scars. I lost you, yeah, I know too well. Thought it through, but it hurt like hell. If I see you
did the same
again.
thing again the next day.
Yep. The next day we got there at 1 o'clock. Well, no, we got there and sat there and they pulled us into the garage at 1 o'clock. Exactly 1 o'clock. And they needed to do a checklist, an oil change on the TCU, and an oil change on the APU. How long were we there?
I think that we got there at like 1, and they pulled us in almost probably within 10, 15 minutes of being there. So we were probably actually in the garage by 1:15, and we probably pulled out of the garage at close to like right around 9.
Yeah,
10
9
at
o'clock.
This Thermo King stayed open until 10 o'clock at night, which is one of the reasons why we went there. But yeah, from 1 o'clock until 9 o'clock, we were in their garage getting
2 oil changes.
2 oil changes. Yeah.
Which I think is ridiculous. It should have never took them that many hours to do 2 oil changes.
No, they definitely milked it, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have that much experience with the reefer because this is the first truck we've had with one, but I used to do the oil changes on our tri-pack all the time over the years. Like, I've probably done that 50 times. I always buy the kit at the Thermo King and do the oil changes myself. It's a few filters and changing the oil, and I could do it, and I'm not even that good at any of it, and I could do it in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So the APU part, he should have been able to do within an hour. I can't comment on the TCU because I don't know nothing about it, but it seems like it's still an oil change.
I mean, they get paid hourly, and I feel like he was milking the clock. If you want to know the truth about it, he was desperately milking the clock. There was no management left there that evening, and he literally was milking it, in my opinion. My opinion, that's what he was doing. And he charged like he was milking it too. I think it cost like $1,100.
Oh, well, it's like almost 5 p.m. We're still sitting here at this Thermo King. Been here since like 1, I think. See the ladder, the guy's on the... I think he's up top messing with the reefer. It's been like 4 hours now to do a PM on the APU and the reefer. What do you think?
I mean, we've never had to wait and see like how long it takes to do a PM on a TCU. So I don't know if 4 hours to do one on the TCU and an inspection, because he had to inspect everything with the system also.
Yeah.
And we'll change on our APU, and it's like 4 hours. So I don't know. I don't know if that's like normally what it would take, or if they're kind of milking it a little bit. I don't know.
Why would they be in a hurry?
Yeah, that's what I think. I think there's a little milking it, because they get paid by the hour, in my opinion.
Probably a little bit of that. We're just getting a little bit hangry, to be honest. Back to Freightliner tomorrow, I guess, to get the steering column, because it sits about like this, like it's off about that much when you're going. It's in line, but the column here is off. When you're going straight, the steering column sits about like that. So I guess we're going to have to go back tomorrow and get that looked at. It's going to be annoying. Really ready just to get a load and roll, but that's going to be pretty annoying if we leave it like that. So we are back in service, though. I mean, we did get all that taken care of to where we can look for loads.
One eternity later.
Just gear for some kids that are on a training course recently, and I went, yo.
Well, it's now 6:45, and we are still sitting at this Thermo King. 6:45. Been here since like 1. 5, almost 6 hours at this point.
For an oil change.
Yeah.
For the love of God, an oil change.
Or a PM for the APU and a PM for the TCU. Like a maintenance checklist thing. If there's any technicians that happen to watch this that work at Carrier or Thermo King, let me know if that's normal or if this dude is milking this. Let me know how long it would take you to do a PM on a Comfort Pro APU and a PM on a Carrier reefer unit. Let me know if it would take you from 1 o'clock until 7 o'clock to do that. And counting, by the way. We're not done yet. We're still here, so I don't know how long he's gonna milk this for, but yeah, if anybody happens to be certified in that, let me know in the comments. What do you think about this time? I don't mean sitting and waiting to be called in. We were called in here at like 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we've been in the garage with them physically working on this for almost 7 hours just to do 2 oil changes, 2 PMs, wet and dry PMs. I know there's filters and stuff too. It's not just the oil, but
Nah, they're milking it. They are milking it.
all right, let me know.
3 weeks later.
Snow fell on the meadow, nestled by the lake, and in my mind I see you. The earth began to quake. It's this time of winter, I can feel you're near. And if I scream your name out, maybe you can hear. Maybe you can hear.
Well, that's everything that we've done so far with the truck. We do need to take it back to the Freightliner tomorrow morning, because when they did the alignment on the truck, now our steering wheel sits like this instead of straight. Once we get that fixed, then the truck will be hopefully brand new. I mean, we've gotten everything fixed that needed to be fixed. We can pass inspections. All of our inspections are turned in at this point. So
We should be doing that in the morning through the magic of editing. You guys are probably seeing that now and know how that went before we did. So.
yeah.
How could I have known this? Grief gives no respite. And how could I just carry on?
What do you think? You think it's fixed, or you think I'll be coming back?
We do have electric bikes, and my tire kept going down on mine.
Go flat tire. I can get this back on there as easy as it can. Decided to take a quick run down the road and back. It's not so cold out here.
Roadside. Got a new one here, ordered from Amazon.
Michael made this because our dog cannot get up on our bed over and over and over and over every day. But we made like $92,000 to the truck in 3 months.
I guess times are changing. We could not keep our home. And in the dark and silent nights, I feel so alone. It's been 7 years now, living day by day. And although I grow older, you still stay the same. You still stay the same. The same.